Hello everyone, I hope you're having a good evening. My name is Malkin and I'm here to play some games with you. Today we are continuing our playthrough of Renowned Explorers, International Society. As you can see here, we have the world map pulled up. This is on the tail end of going through an expedition through the highlands of Britannia. So now we have some things we can do. I will say this episode is going to be focused primarily on this world map between expeditions. If you're looking forward to the next expedition, you feel free to just skip this episode and go on to the next one. But for now, if you want to see what we can kind of do on the world map, we're going to go ahead and do that now. So you can see here we have a number of things we can kind of look at. We have our resources up here in the top left corner. We have insight, which we'll be able to spend at these three places: Berlin, Paris, and London. It'll convert these insight tokens into other tokens, primarily gold with the collect tokens, status with the campaign tokens, and research points with the study tokens. We already have some gold, status, and research. And we can see here that right below this, it is telling us we can actually unlock some research, but we'll come back to that in a couple seconds. So, we are doing fairly good so far. 172 is not going to make us beat our rival Rivaloo, but it is getting close, so we'll have to do what we can. And of these 6 places we can go, I mentioned 3 of them. These 3 are going to be where we convert insight, and we'll open up more as the game goes on. After our next expedition, we'll have some more places to go to, but for now we only have these 6. That also means we have Madrid, Stockholm, and Moscow right now we can also look at. So Madrid and Stockholm are both places we can actually attain people for our entourage. I'll get into the entourage in a little bit, but it's basically permanent perks that you get by spending status. And Moscow is where we can spend our gold to get better equipment for our people. Like I mentioned briefly last time, there is some equipment we can get. We have the most basic of all basic stuff right now, but we will be able to upgrade that at least a little bit. So looking at our research points, we have over 250 gold, over 260 status, 76 research, which is actually a really good place for us. And I think that given kind of the nature of our group, I think we're going to focus pretty heavily on research. I think that's going to make a lot of sense. We might from there go into more golden status. We'll kind of be opportunistic with it. I see very little reason to leave any of them out, but I will say that I am looking forward to focusing primarily on research. That includes some of the insight points. So let's kind of go into why. With research, you see there are 6 trees we can kind of look at getting into, but most of them actually are locked away. These 4 all require 2 expeditions to unlock it all. And so we'll kind of go into what those are in a little bit, but right now we have observations and history as these trees. And so you can see from the description that observations is going to want to focus on researching faster, getting more perks from various research things. Like I said, I think we're going to focus on this one. I think for our purposes, it's going to be a good thing to pick up. But history is a very good choice too. History is making sure that we can make the most of the world map. It's going to be really focusing on when you spend those resources that a lot happens for you. So we may try and get into that later. I think it's going to be a really good choice. But for now, we actually are in a kind of unique position. You can see here that we have quite a bit of research comparatively. This 76 alone won't be anywhere near enough to get us all the way through the tree, but it will get us pretty close. And this will give us a member for our entourage, but also more importantly 2 insight points, which will take us to 6, which we can use for quite a bit. And if we bump that up a little bit, we actually get even more study points from using that insight in Berlin. So I think that I'm going to go ahead and go this route for certain, because that'll just be a way to hopefully even complete this entire tree before we go on our next mission, which gives us some pretty cool effects. We'll be able to get another perk. If you remember from last time, Agatha is going pretty heavily on engineering and archaeologist, and we can give her one of those 2, which will be very, very useful for those challenges. So as we're kind of going through this, we'll also get some more study points. We can select which challenge node we want to use for it. We'll also get some extra supply capacity if we can finish the entire thing. We will finally get more research or we'll get more renown rather. Sorry, from getting these stats, these items, these resources. So let's go ahead and do it. We unlocked observation. The focus on observation to unravel the puzzles of this world is the most important idea of modern science. The crew has an opportunity to specialize one crew member in any science, in any of the sciences. I do believe Agatha is going to be the best choice for this. She already has both engineer and archaeologist. I think we're going to go farther into engineer. Naturalist would be really nice. It'd be nice to kind of specialize a bit more, but I do want to get more points in these to try and be able to take down high-level challenges. So yes, Agatha's going to get it, and she will get... She's going to engineer. We're going all in. As part of this, we know we already have engineer steam engines. I'm going to say let's go ahead and go something a bit more interesting. I think automata rather. Automata is going to be a good choice. I'm honestly not sure what those will affect, but it'll be interesting. And so, with the idea in mind that we want to try and really emphasize and use our insight for getting more research off the bat, we're going to go down this tree and hopefully get all of it. And so that takes us, we now did run out, but we have 6 insights stored up, as well as a bonus to getting more research points in Berlin. So let's go and do that. As I mentioned, when you use insight tokens in these 3 places, you'll have this screen pop up. I'm going to click on this and it'll open up Berlin University. We'll perform a job here. We can have them talk, and of course Agatha's going to talk. As a teacher, she gets a bonus perk for it. So she will very much will be our best bet. And let's go ahead and do that. So first point used. And you can see we were at, I believe it was 26. Now we've gotten 25 points from this use. We'll just keep doing that. Hopefully it'll be enough to really get us to the next step. And you know what we could do actually is, let's see how far that'll take us. Let's look at research now. So we can get the next one for sure. Let's go and grab it. So 45 is the next points we need. We'll go ahead and grab another one. Which takes us to enough for the last one. And so we shall use these study tokens. Oops, sorry. We want to go to research, and we will do supplies next. I think that's going to be the best. And so now we need 60. So that'll be minimum two insight points, but I don't think we'll actually need that third one to finish out the tree. So let's kind of see where that takes us. We might want to actually spend that other insight on something else, but we'll kind of see where it takes us. So, all right, perfect. We have enough. We'll go and finish this out. We'll learn more. I believe that nature challenges, we'll go and stack double on this. This will mean that whenever we find a nature challenge, it'll be worth both study and supplies for us. That makes nature challenges very strong. And we finished it up, so we do get some more renown. And we are focusing research, so let's do research. I believe that is going to be the best bet. And it'll be solid all around. So real fast, let's kind of like look at the gold and the status and see what you can do with these. It'll be, I think, very telling if we can use last insight for something more pressing, because we won't be able to get into the research this time. So let's see what we can do. Let's start with equipment. So we enter the red square market. You can see here that we have these 3 slots, but I will say that it's kind of broken up. You have trinkets here, you have an offense slot here, and you have defense slot here. You can see all of them have these books. They all give +1 speech power. Exploring for Dummies, of course. They also have Kiwi and Agatha have these rusty rings, which is good for speech defense. I guess because it just makes you look more impressive to them, so you're better at shrugging off their attacks. I'm assuming it's very similar to if you're wearing something nice, you just feel more confident. Whereas a leather vest worn by Yvonne is going to actually have some kind of actual protection. Not much, it's a +1 armor, so it is a cheap leather vest. But that's kind of what she has right now. I believe we're going to go pretty heavy on on attack this time. So we'll have enough to give all 3 of them decent books. So let's do that. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. And as a cool little side note, we can sell them back. So let's go and sell those and get us... Now, actually, we have enough to get everyone the next armor as well, which I think is going to make a lot of sense. Now, we have a scout in the group. This is for scouts only, these decent boots. They'll give us plus grit, plus armor, and plus speech defense. That actually is probably going to be better than getting plus 10 speech defense, especially for the grit itself. Grit helps you dodge things, and dodging is going to be better than kind of tanking it. I always think that evasion is the best way to go. So we'll go ahead and grab those for Kiwi. Sell that back. The others, we have 10 armor and 31 speech defense, 20 speech defense, and 11 armor. I am going to say for Agatha, because her speech defense is so high, I think decent armor is going to be a better choice. It really bumps up her overall defense. Sell that back. And honestly, that might be the best bet for Yvonne as well. Kind of rounding out... Oops. There we go. Leather vest, sell that back. And now I think I'm pretty happy with these stats. I'm pretty happy with where we're going with this. Now we could... No, they're already fully upgraded. And we couldn't afford the gold, I don't believe. We can check though to see what it could do. So we have 3 here. Gets us at most 48 gold, which puts us at a solid 70, which would not be enough to buy anything. So I don't believe we'll spend our insight on gold this time. The other things we can do in the world map, there's going to be the entourage places. Stockholm lets you spend status to improve the income of your tokens or gain perks. Madrid, you can acquire an entourage with status to improve the income of your tokens or from encounter outcomes. So looking at Stockholm, we're going to go ahead and hop in here. So you can see here with helpers. Helpers are kind of more generic people. These will be the ones you kind of turn to in order... Well, you don't really even turn to them. They just kind of add these passive bonuses. For example, we have a student from going into the research tech tree of observation. And every time we get a study token now, this student gives us a chance to get an extra research point off that token, which is, as you can imagine, pretty powerful. The others over here, we have more students. We have merchants, which gives you more gold from collect tokens, and lobbyists, which gives you more status from campaign tokens. But the helpers aren't the only thing here. You also have specialists. These specialists will do much more cool things. So we can, if we got one of these specialists, and I believe you can only get one specialist from each tab, so we have to pick well here. If we were to get one of these specialists, we could go pretty heavy on engineering. If we wanted to give that to Agatha, we could, and that would give us even more study points whenever we succeed on the adventure wheel. We could also go for diplomacy, but we don't have anyone with that skill right now, so it'd be kind of branching out and diversifying a bit. I'm not sure if I want to do that quite yet. We could here take this renowned explorer Gudmund, get the rogue on Yvonne, and that would actually give us another collect token every time rogue succeeds on the adventure wheel. That's definitely going to be a strong choice. We'll think about it. Let's go look at other options before we really dive in and pick one. It would take up all of our status to get one of these, and we want to make sure that bonus is worth it. And also, just a little side note here while we're talking about it, to open up the next tab, you need to upgrade this. It's 50 status. So if we were to upgrade here, we wouldn't actually get any of these, which could be a little counterproductive. But I will say upgrading here will give us more helpers. And if we want to go for passive bonuses with these, that is definitely an option. So a lot to consider, but that's Stockholm. Let's look at Madrid to see what we have available. Let's kind of see my thought process for what I want to get here. We have some more people available for purchase, or for hire, I guess is a better way to put that. We still have the lobbyists, we still have the merchant, we still have the student, but now we also have journalists, which every time we finish an encounter gives us more status, which could be really useful. It doesn't quite match up with our research tint yet, but it could be useful. Trader does the same thing with encounters, but for gold instead, so we get more gold instead of more status like we have the journalist. We have some specialists here. These help us if we resolve encounter certain ways. So we can get more collect if we resolve it aggressive, more campaign if we resolve it devious, and more study if we resolve it friendly. Because we're going really strongly towards devious, this is actually a solid choice. We'll get extra campaign tokens this way. It's cheaper than the other place, so we can still pick up a couple helpers or upgrade if we feel like it. All in all, a solid choice here, and we could even, if we're looking at campaign, looking how much more status we can get, if we went with this, we could get minimum 30, upwards of 48 status. And so we actually could, with this last token, very possibly, actually, definitively, we could get over 300, which would give us points for both a entourage person and a helper and a specialist. Honestly, I am really liking the idea of going Lady Vaduva. I think that this could be really good. For this upgrade points, we want more status, and more status gets us more people in the long run, which in a way does help us counterbalance our research-heavy strategy, which is a little counterintuitive, but we're going to do it. Let's see what happens. Alright, so we have 100 points left. We can get over 150 if we think it'll make a big difference. Excuse me. And we could definitely go and just bump up everything. I think that bumping up everything in general is probably going to be a good idea. And we could really reward ourselves with another journalist by going and seeking out those encounters. We can make sure that we're getting more perks every single time we finish one. Honestly, let's do another student. Let's double up on that. Have a pretty good chance to get extra research every time we get that study token. And let's go ahead and, if we go ahead and spend this insight on status, we can pick up both of these. I think that'll be a good idea. So let's do it. Now we have lots of passive bonuses going on. This is going to be a really great start. And so now we've completed our first expedition. That was obviously the tutorial in the Highlands. Now we have 4 more we can go on before the game ends. We're going to try and maximize our points. So let's look at where we can go. Right now we have these 4 places kind of show up, but one of them we already went to. We were already at the Saxon Grave Islands, the Highlands there. We have 3 choices. We have the Hungarian Fort, we have the Mali Mystery, and we have a Caribbean island. The Hungarian Fort, you can see here, is difficulty 2. That's right on par with where we're at. Our people are all level 2. Lady Vaduva, the treasurer of the Renowned Explorers, who actually is the person we hired, has notified you of a forgotten fort. It used to be a secret alchemy lab in the Middle Ages. There must be something amazing to discover around these forgotten places. Being devious might help. So this automatically jumps out as being a good place for us. We have devious, we have archaeologist, but we don't have tactician, quick thinker, or diplomat. So this could be a bad blend for us. We'll have to kind of see what the others have. I will say status isn't really the research we're going for, but that's okay. We have Mali Mystery. You are up for a unique chance to explore the inland in search of a mysterious witch doctor. These areas are full of good-spirited villagers and devious hyenas, and a friendly approach might help. Now we have Rogue, Athlete, Beguiler challenges, which could be really good for Yvonne. Would get us a lot of gold, which might be good. You can see Yvonne has both Rogue and Beguiler, so this would actually be a fantastic place for us. But the whole friendly approach thing wouldn't necessarily be in our favor. And because, well, in a way, a friendly approach is going to be beating devious people, because friendly does beat devious. Devious beats aggressive, and aggressive beats friendly in general. This would probably put us on an even keel. We'd be pretty strong. Not necessarily strong, but it'd be fairly even. We wouldn't be maximizing our power, but we wouldn't be hurting ourselves by going after this. This could be a really good choice for us. we might come back to it and see what happens. Last, we have the Caribbean island, Roche's lost treasure. The once fierce Dutch pirate Roche disappeared many years ago after burying his pirate treasure. Monkeys and smugglers will oppose you, and an aggressive approach could make this easier. Expect nature challenges and technique challenges in abundance. There is a lot to study for research. Now this is interesting because nature challenges for us are a very good thing. They get us research, which stacks with this, what it's saying here. And we get more supplies from that. We could really explore the crap out of this island if we wanted to. But the aggressive stance here is a little scary. This is saying expect a lot of friendly enemies, and friendly is strong against us. This doesn't mean our group couldn't handle it. This could be the best place for us in terms of resources we can get. But I will say that this is going to be very difficult battle-wise for us to overcome fiercely. We might consider coming back here at a later expedition. More will open up as we go through time, of course, but it could be worthwhile to backtrack to here to get more research and get more nature challenges. Given these, I think that I really am going to go with this Hungarian fort. I think that the devious encounters will help us. We are going pretty strong towards encounter perks, encounter rewards. And we do have an archaeologist. Status is not going to hurt us at all. We do prefer research, but it's not going to hurt us. I think this is going to be the best bet we have for really hitting this entire playthrough strong. With that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and stop here. I'm going to go ahead and end this episode a little bit early, kind of leave it at this world map. This has, like I said, been an overview of the world map. Now that it's kind of been covered, we will be able to hop right into the expedition with the next episode. And I do believe that this is going to be a great run for us. So, thank you all for listening. I hope you have a fantastic evening. Have fun, and game on.